What's up everybody, MTmotoRIDER here, and welcome to my Motovlogging for Beginners series. And in this video, I'm going to talk about cameras. If you are planning on doing any kind of motovlogging, you're going to definitely need a camera. I'll be honest and say that I have not used any kind of camera except for a GoPro. That is the only kind of camera I have ever used, and never really had any problems out of any of the GoPros I've owned. I believe that GoPro makes really great products, and they are fairly easy to use. They're pretty reliable. I mean, I've had several cameras fall off bikes and hit the road and tumble around and this and that, and they still work just as good as the day I bought them brand new. I've had a GoPro ever since the GoPro Hero, the very first one. And right now, recording this video, I'm using a GoPro Hero 5. Now there's a 6, a 7, and now an 8 out. So, of course, those are probably better, but I don't really see the need to upgrade right now. Just for the fact that I got this one a lot cheaper since all the other ones are out. And if you're on a budget, of course, go with whatever you can afford or whatever is the cheapest. I believe starting with the GoPro Hero 4, I think that's the first GoPro that would do 4K. I may be wrong. If I am, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure the Hero 4 was the first one that recorded in 4K. Now the 5, 6, 7, and 8 all do 4K. And I know my 5 for sure will do 240 frames per second, which is awesome if you're going to shoot anything and then use anything that you shot as far as slow motion goes. It really works out being able to shoot with such high frame rates if you're planning on using any of your footage for slow motion. But I'm not going to go into a bunch of details and specifications of all the cameras. I mean, anybody can go online and find that information out in a few seconds. I'm just kind of talking about my personal experience with the cameras that I've owned. If you are going to motovlog, you're going to need a microphone adapter, whether you have a GoPro Hero 5 or under. Now the 5, 6, 7, and 8 actually take a different mic adapter from the GoPro Hero 3 and 4. This microphone adapter is the one you need if you're going to use a Hero 5 or above, and this mic adapter is the one that you're going to need if you're using a Hero 3 or 4 to do your motovlogs. Now the mic adapter for the 5 and up it's very bulky. I mean, I have mine Velcro to the side of my helmet, so it's not that bad. The mic adapter for the Hero 3 and 4 was a whole lot easier to deal with because it wasn't as bulky and it wasn't as big. But I simply have my mic adapter plugged into my camera, and then I have a splitter plugged into the mic adapter, and then I got a couple of microphones going to that are inside my helmet, and that's pretty much how I have my stuff set up. If you've seen my first video about choosing a helmet, I'll put a card up here in the corner. You know that I did mention that I will eventually do a video on my actual helmet setup and how I have everything in my helmet. Another thing to consider if you're planning on using a mic adapter, whether it be for a Hero 3 or 4 or for a 5 and up, is you will have to take the side door off of the camera to expose the microphone port. So your camera will no longer be waterproof. So if you were out doing motovlogs and got caught in the rain, you would have to pull over and kind of take everything apart and maybe throw it into a waterproof bag or throw it in your jacket or something, because it'll no longer be waterproof if you have the side door off. And another option so you can remain waterproof if you wanted to is you could use a voice recorder. I'm not going to really go into a lot of detail about that. I have done it before. That'll be for another video. keep that fact in mind, that if you do decide to use the mic adapter, you have to have the mic adapter plugged into your camera at all times for it to work, so it will no longer be waterproof. If any of you have used a camera besides the GoPro to do any motovlogs, let me know in the comments. I have heard of a few others. I can't really remember them off the top of my head. I think there's one called like the drift camera or something like that. Let me know down in the comments if you have used something different and how it works out for you. I actually wouldn't mind trying out some different stuff just because I've never done it. And with having a camera comes the fact of having to mount it on your helmet, or if you're going to use a voice recorder, you can actually mount the camera pretty much wherever you want to. That's another I guess benefit of using a voice recorder, is you could actually mount the camera on your handlebars or somewhere else on the motorcycle if you wanted to. You wouldn't necessarily have to have it on your helmet. But I would suggest mounting the camera on your helmet if you're going to do motovlogs, preferably on your chin, like somewhere near the chin of the helmet, because like I mentioned in my video before, I believe that gives you the best perspective as far as seeing what the rider sees. But you can mount the camera on the top, on the side of the helmet. But just remember, if you're going to have the microphone adapter hooked up to this stuff, I mean, you're going to have to find somewhere to Velcro it, or somewhere to put it as far as being near the camera. So just keep that in mind if you decide to mount it anywhere else besides the chin. But of course, if you're using a Hero 5 or up, you're going to have the big bulky mic adapter, and you could definitely mount it anywhere on the helmet that you wanted to, I guess. But if you're somebody that really don't want a whole lot of stuff mounted to your helmet, especially if you have a real nice helmet, then you may want to think about trying out a voice recorder, or at least doing a chin mount, so then you can kind of mount everything low so it's not as noticeable. But as far as the cameras I've owned, like I mentioned, I have owned a regular GoPro Hero, the first one they come out with, all the way up to the Hero 5 that I'm using now. But I've only ever used the Hero 3, 4, and 5 as far as doing motovlogs. I also have a Hero Session 4, the little square one, but I've never actually used that one to do motovlogs. I've only ever maybe mounted that one like to my handlebars, or mounted it down low somewhere to get some decent shots of just riding or whatever. But having one of the newer cameras, at least a Hero 4, I guess, and being able to shoot in 4K, and maybe even having a 5 or up and being able to shoot with the higher frame rates, I think that would really benefit you as far as doing motovlogs. Just because everything would be a really nice picture, and like I said, for the frame rates, if you wanted to use any of your footage for slow motion, that would be great as well. They do actually make a specific GoPro case, I believe for the Hero 5 and up, that you can actually mount the mic adapter right up under it. Like the case is made for the camera, and then right up under it you put the mic adapter to kind of keep everything together. And I actually own one, and I'll include a link in the description for that case. I got it from Amazon. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head how much it cost, but it was not expensive at all. And I tried it out for a little while, but the way I have my camera mounted, it made it just a little bit too high where I could see too much of the camera out of my shield. I mean, it wasn't that bad annoying, but it got to the point where I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I just went back to having my camera mounted by itself, and then the mic adapter mounted over on the side of the helmet. So that's how I run my camera right now, and probably will continue to do it that way, just because that's just personally what I like. But there are so many different cameras out there and different options for mounting a camera, and GoPro sells so many accessories to allow you to mount it pretty much anywhere you want to. It's ridiculous. But do your research, check out videos of people using different GoPros, check out videos of people using, you know, different kind of action cameras. Maybe you don't want to go with the GoPro, maybe you want to try something different. Definitely look at all your options before you purchase, because some of them are pretty expensive and it's an investment. But if you guys enjoyed this video or it helps you in any way, please hit that like button, get subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.